Okay, so hopefully this is going to work a little bit better. I didn't realize that once you set it up on your phone, I'm going to give it a second because people are probably going to be pouring into the other one, which is okay. Here we go. All right. There we go. Yeah, sorry about that. I didn't realize that if you set it up on the other email, not the other email, if you did it on mobile, you don't get a chance to edit it on the computer. That seems really stupid to me, but whatever. It is what it is. So I didn't even get a notification that I went live. That's a little concerning to me because normally I do. I'm hoping people are actually going to be getting notifications that I went live. It's going to be really unfortunate if they don't, since I haven't seen you guys since what? It's been like August 1st, I think was the last time I actually streamed. I think it was August 1st. August 1st was the last time I went live. Okay, some people are saying you got the notification. You were already in the app. Yeah, if you're in the app, you're going to get the notification. It's okay. I mean, let's give people a little bit of time. I know since I said I was going to go live in a different video, and I had to terminate that one because it, like I said, it was on mobile. It was on my phone, so I had to terminate that one and jump into this one because I didn't want to stream from my phone. I wanted to stream from the computer, and I thought you could just switch, but apparently you can't. So that held me back a little bit, but that's okay. It's okay. It's working. We got it working. Sounds like people can hear me okay. I'm back to my Rode microphone because my Yeti kind of fluctuates. It goes on and off. So it's very unfortunate that my Yeti, which I love. I mean, the sound quality on the Yeti is just so great. I mean, the Rode is not that much worse either, but the Yeti is just so much better. But unfortunately, it's just giving me too much trouble, so I have to put it aside for a little bit, and hopefully, if I can get the Yeti fixed. The biggest issue I'm having with it is simply when I plug it in, the computer sometimes does not recognize it. Like just now, when I was just getting ready to go live after I turned my computer on, my work computer here, it was saying that it recognizes the Yeti. But the problem is sometimes as soon as I turn it on, the Yeti will just magically vanish and disappear, which is very unfortunate. So I just didn't want to tinker with it. That's why I got this lovely little Rode microphone, and it gets the job done. You guys can hear me clearly, I hope. If I can get a 1 in the chat, that will let me know that you guys can hear me okay, and we can get started as I see more and more people are coming in here. All right, looks like we got plenty of 1s in the chat, so people can hear me. That's perfect, loud and clear, says Snap Malloy. How's everybody doing today? The weather the last couple of days has been absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely beautiful weather we've been having here in Kentucky. And today it's starting to get a little bit colder. I haven't checked the weather for next week. I'm not really sure what the weather is going to be looking like tomorrow. It says shower. It might rain today as well. Just a slight chance, but it's starting to get colder consistently. You know, high 50s, mid 60s, low 40s, high 30s. It's going to get nasty. I mean, it is October. It is the end of October, so I guess it's to be expected. Michigan. Where are people from? Where are you guys from? Chevy Mustang, Michigan. You guys are up north there. California, visiting Michigan, says Roan 811. That's cool, man. That is really cool. New York City is unseasonably warm, says A. Kane. Two of my friends from Kentucky. Welcome, Bruce Davis. Boston, Texas. Australia. Whoa, far away, Matthew Mileto. Welcome, welcome. Georgia, Ohio, Bay City, Mars. Oh, we got somebody from Mars. That's fascinating, Taffy. Welcome. I hope the population is greater than 1 on Mars. Florida, South Florida, Pittsburgh, Arkansas, Illinois. We got people from all over the place. That's wonderful. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. Alabama, Georgia, Kansas. There are no lawyers on Mars, so don't get in trouble on Mars. You won't be able to obtain representation. Well, that's wonderful. Yeah. So I haven't been streaming, obviously, as some of you more regular viewers know. I used to stream about once a week. And our usual time, obviously, as you all can see, Saturday, 6:30 p.m. I'm back. So we're going to be streaming some more. We're going to be having some fun. We're going to be talking about the legal system, which is a topic, I think, of variety for, obviously, for everybody. Everybody can get involved. Everybody has had some brushes with the legal system at one point or another, or have known somebody who has had a brush with the legal system in one way or another. So everybody's kind of included in this category. And even if you haven't, if you have been living in a rabbit hole, at least you're familiar of how unforgiving and callous, as the title is of this video, can be. So we're going to get down and dirty and talk about the legal system here in a little bit. But first, I want to talk about some updates, okay? A couple of cool things are coming. So first and foremost, like I said, the last time I streamed was about 3 months ago, almost 3 months to the day. And lots of things have happened since then. I mean, we're going to be back at streaming weekly. So mark your calendars, 6:30 p.m. every Saturday. Eastern Standard Time is DUI Guy hour or 2 hours. I usually do this thing for over an hour, sometimes even a couple of hours. I think my longest one was like 2.25. As long as my voice will carry me, I mean, I'll be here, you know. Since it's we do this as kind of a lecture. You know, I watch some other streamers on Twitch and YouTube, and well, Matthew, you're in, fair enough, you're in Australia, but I didn't think about that. You're international Dateline material. So anyway, yeah, call me Monday if you got an issue, Magnum Stud, 502-931-6788. It's all over the internet. If you just Google the DUI guy, you'll find it. So I watch a lot of streamers, and I mean, I notice how sometimes they can stream for several hours, you know, 2, 3, 4, 5, sometimes even 7 or 8 or 10 or 12 hours playing like video games and stuff like that. Obviously, since I'm doing a lot of the talking, or nearly, I would say all of the talking, it's a little difficult to obviously talk more than 2 hours. So we're probably going to cap it around that time, that area. I'm considering making a Twitch. I really just don't know what I'm going to do with it, because again, there's only so much that I can talk about in the legal arena. So unless I'm going to create a Twitch channel where we can like play video games or something, like Among Us, I know is a very, very popular game. If any of you play Among Us, so I've seen streamers play Among Us on YouTube and Twitch. You know, some of the more popular streamers have popularized the game and are playing it, like Moist Critical, This Guy's Toast, Saikuno, Valkyrie. I've been paying attention. It's pretty much like exploded over the internet. Hundreds of thousands of players are playing that Among Us game. So I don't know if I want to jump on that bandwagon and create a Twitch channel. It seems kind of like I won't be able to generate enough viewership because I don't know how consistent I'll be able to be with it again, because I have a lot of work, and to be able to make it worthwhile, then you have to be consistent. And these streamers, I mean, that's what they do for a living. I can see that a lot of them, that's how they make their money. Like, that's not how I make my money. I don't make my money on YouTube and Twitch, or if I had a Twitch, you know what I mean? This is just like fun for me, educational for you. And it's of course it's supplemental income for me as well, but I don't make a living off of doing these things. So I don't know. I'm still debating as to whether or not I'm even going to be creating a Twitch channel. And, you know, if I only occasionally stream, I don't know if I'm going to be able to generate enough of a viewership base to where people are going to want to come over and watch me. So I guess we'll see where that goes. Again, this is still like COVID winter thoughts, I guess, because October, November, December have been pretty, you know, October's been pretty busy. September was kind of dead for me. September, you know, we've had that Breonna Taylor case decision coming down from the Attorney General, and I almost don't even want to talk about it. That's how bad I feel about it, because, you know, if some of you have seen the grand jury statement, one of the grand jurors has explained that very limited options and very limited evidence and very limited possibilities have been provided to them when it comes to the charging of whom and for what. So again, and the city shut down for a week. So September, I mean, other than protesters, which I only represent a handful of, you know, as obviously that I don't pop up as somebody to call. When you Google, you don't look up for the DUI guy to represent you in for being arrested as being a protester. But you know, we've gotten a few of those, and those are pretty much, that and domestic have been the most common crimes during COVID. So domestic violence, of course, is what I'm referring to. So you know, we haven't really had a chance in September to really get a lot of clientele. You know, August has been okay. July was the best, but then COVID has kind of made a resurgence. So we took a hit, like I said, August, September, when I wasn't streaming. So I'm catching you guys all up on that. And then in October, things have started picking up a little bit. I think the city is opening back up. There is rumor that it's going to start closing back down. I'm not 100% sure. Dear God, I hope we're not. And this is all kind of like word of mouth. There is no official words that I've heard personally or have heard other people talk about. So I guess we'll see where that goes. So that's basically where we're at. We are going to start streaming on YouTube regularly, and we are going to do it at the exact same time. So 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or I guess 9 a.m. Australia, whatever time, on the following day, on Sunday, for those Australians who are joining us. But in the United States, it's going to be between 3:30 and 6:30, depending on where you are. 3:30 Pacific, 4:30 Mountain, 5:30 Central, and 6:30 Eastern PM is when we're going to be streaming every Saturday. And I hope you guys are able to join. I think at this point, last I checked, the next piece of news is we are about 2 or 3 subs short of 48,000, I think. Yeah, so those of you who haven't subscribed yet, don't forget to like this video, comment below, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell. If you subscribe, you could be the 48,000th subscriber. I think we are 2 or 3 short, so that's going to be lovely. We're also at 13.5 almost million views, which is awesome. I mean, you guys are giving me so much love, and it seems like I'm casting a wider net, and I'm catching a lot of viewers who are completely unfamiliar with the channel, completely unfamiliar with who I am, completely unfamiliar with what I do, and they just find something they find some video, one of my videos on the internet, and then some of them go and binge watch all of them, or as many as they can. And then some of them come and go. And a few of them, maybe about 1 out of 4, it seems like, kind of stay. It may be less than that. I'm just kind of guesstimating here. But it's kind of interesting how the trend is going. And a lot of you, and I apologize, again, this is due to no fault of my own. I know you've been asking for new videos. When am I going to get some new videos? Believe me, I wish I could feed you as many videos as I absolutely could. And the problem is, DSS says you're reaching more people. I've never seen you. I subscribed because someone told me about you. This is the first video I've watched. Oh, you're good, man. You're good. If you go to my channel, you'll be able to see a lot of videos of me ripping police officers on the stand. And that's pretty much the bulk of what drives viewership to my channel. I do these just because I love educating people on the law, and I love people learning their rights and learning what they should and shouldn't do, and how to, like today, we're going to be talking about dealing with the legal system. So I just love doing these. But these live streams don't really generate viewership to my channel. I think if I took all the views I've gotten, assuming they're all unique from every single live stream I've done, I would probably have like 100,000 views on my channel total. So very, very, very little. Less than 1%, less than a half of 1% even. So most of the views that I generate is from from me doing courtroom work and the stuff that I post. And like I said, I do apologize due to no fault of my own. COVID has pretty much shut down our ability to do jury trials for the most part. I do have a few scheduled. Pretty much every single one I've had scheduled since March 15th has been continued. I haven't had a single jury trial since March. Well, the last one I actually did was February 21st. That was the last jury trial I actually did. And it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. So we're hoping that courts will start opening back up, and we're going to be able to do a little bit more in the courtroom, and obviously provide content for you guys. That's the only way I can really create the content that you all know and love, is by going to the courtroom. And with the courtroom being closed and nobody holding jury trials, it's kind of hard to do. So trials in masks is BS. I agree, Hillbilly Caucus. I do not look forward to it, but hey, if I have to do it, I'm going to do it. That's just the way it is. I represent my clients. I don't pick and choose what and how and where and why to do them. If the judge says, look, if I ask for a trial and the judge says, okay, you're trying it in a mask or with a face shield, and you're doing it, blah, 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 these are the restraints, well, so be it. I don't pick it. If I want to do it, then I have to do it the way that the judge says. I will do it the way the judge says. So still no jury trials. So hopefully we're going to be able to get some jury trials going here in the next, I don't know, few months. I honestly can't predict. I do have, when is my next jury trial? I can tell you guys right now. My next jury trial that is scheduled, that is potentially could go, is November 9th, followed by December 8th. So the November 9th, I don't think really is going to go, has many chances. The December 8th one, though, does have a high possibility. So December 8th, be on the lookout. Maybe I'll post something in December if we're going to be able to try the case. Otherwise, literally everything is being pushed to next year. So that's just where we are. Last but not least, and I've saved the best for last because I wanted to get as many people in here before I talk about this. We are eligible for creating memberships. And so I'm currently working on getting memberships rolled out. Okay. I've hired a couple of people, a couple of graphic designers who have been working with me and been generating badges, emojis. I'm still waiting on. I mean, I don't know if I could show you these badges. I don't think I have a link. Let me see if I can. I don't think I can. I don't have a link, and I can't like upload an image to the chat, which is really, really unfortunate. So we're gonna have badges. The badges are ready. There's a 1 month badge, or I'm sorry, a new viewer badge, a 1 month badge, a 2 month badge, a 6 month badge, a 1 year badge, and a 2 year badge. So I'm in Kentucky, BG 65. So those badges are going to be available to those who join as a member. We're also going to have emojis. We're going to have special emojis. We're going to have, oh, Eric Brandt is in the house. Hey, Eric. It's good to see you, brother. I didn't expect you to slide into my stream. I guess he's been spying on me. I don't know if you guys know, but Eric Brandt actually, I don't know if this is actually him or somebody running his channel, but the Eric Brandt, you have been spying. Eric Brandt has made a guest appearance live via audio in one of my streams from years past. You did a show about jury nullification. Exactly. You joined and you talked about jury nullification. That was the one. Let me see, Kim. Can you get a link in the chat for? Let me see if I can get it myself too. If somebody, let's see. Let's see if we can find the one I did with Eric Brandt. Control find filter. If I filter it with the name Eric, here we go. This is the one. Found it. View on YouTube, copy link address. Here we go. This is the video for those of you interested after we're done with the show here. This is the video that I did with Eric Brandt when we talked about jury nullification. It's not a very long one. It's only about an hour and 16 minutes. And yep, that's the one. That's it. Very good. Very, very good. It was a really fun one. We should do another one, Eric. We should do another one. I'm so glad that that you joined us. We did that stream a long time ago, didn't we, Eric? It's been, goodness, when did we stream it? I think we streamed it. It was definitely last year. I know that. It was definitely last year. March 10th, 2019. Wow, it's been a year and a half ago. It's been a year and a half. That's crazy. You got it. Yep, almost a year and a half. You're absolutely right. That's crazy. I had shorter hair back then. Yeah. Oh my goodness, that brings back memories. And I look so much younger and so much more innocent now. I'm even more beaten by the system. And you had more hair back then. You had more hair. I had less hair. I guess we traded. I stole your hair, and mine got longer as a result of that, or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, welcome, Eric. So anyway, as I was saying, saving the best for last. We're gonna have membership. So badges are ready. We're gonna have a bunch of emojis. I'm getting custom made emojis for this for you all to use. So like in the chat right now, as you all are chatting, those of you who will have subscriptions plus the membership, you'll be able to you'll have a little badge next to your name, and you will also be able to use the custom emojis. So you'll have like little DUI guy face emojis that you're going to be able to utilize, which is going to be a lot of fun. So I think everybody's going to enjoy it, and it's going to. Oh, and the perks. I mean, of course, each one comes with its own perks. So we're going to have two tiers, a two-tiered membership. We're going to have the basic membership, which is going to be $4.99 a month, where you get access to obviously all the content that I said, the badges, the badges, the emojis, and also you'll get access to special member-only memes. So I'm going to be the memes that I post, I'm going to split it up into two groups. You're going to have memes that everybody sees, and then you're going to have the member-only memes. And then the next thing that we're going to have is the second layer membership. So the first one is you're going to be called a law novice, and then the second one is going to be an honorary lawyer membership. That's $24.99 for those of you who are interested. And on that one, I will also you'll get all the perks in the first one, in the first layer, and then you'll also get a sneak peek into my own professional and possibly maybe even personal life. I'll be posting some photos, status updates, fun stuff like that to make it worth it for those of you who are willing to invest the extra buck. Again, I don't know how it's going to work, but I think it's going to be fun, at least at the basic level. People are going to be able to use the DUI guy emojis and get badges. Again, I'm just trying to make it fun for you all, because I have that option, and I think it's going to be rewarding for everybody involved. So I'm still waiting on my emojis. Everything else I think is pretty much ready to go. It says I'm about 50% complete. So hopefully before the next live stream. So the next live stream is on Halloween, October 31st. So before the next live stream, hopefully I'm going to have everything set and ready to go. But we'll see. Again, I'm just waiting on my emojis. That's pretty much the only thing holding us back. So with all of that out of the way, this has probably been the longest introduction I've done in a long time, simply because I haven't seen you guys in 3 months. So I just wanted to catch you up on all the things that I've been doing, and all the things that you have to look forward to. It's almost a 30-minute introduction. Longest opening statement ever. Absolutely. And opening statement's over. Exactly right. So let's shift gears. And I want to make this kind of like more of a conversation rather than a lecture, because you all are going to have questions. You all are going to have comments, and I want you to chime in. So if you have something that you want me to touch on, I'm more than happy to touch on. Today, obviously, as you know, the title of this video suggests, we are talking about why the system is so callous and unforgiving. And of course, those of you who are not familiar with the legal system, I can tell you that sometimes one little screw up, one little faux pas, one little misstep, without even realizing it, can cost you your freedom, can cost you more money, not just to the system, but to hiring another lawyer. It can cost you your family. It can cost you a child. It can cost you your wife. It can cost you so many things. And it's very unfortunate. But I really feel that people need to understand how to deal with the legal system, because like I said, it's very unforgiving and it's very biased. And if you don't know how to work it out and how to work through it, and especially if you can't afford a lawyer, I mean, that's the absolute worst. I mean, you're going to be left out to dry. So let me give you a classic example of what I mean. So And Patricia Karsner Nation, it's not unfortunate, she says. It's criminal and needs to change. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were going a different way with that statement. You're right. It is criminal. The way people are being treated by the criminal system is criminal in and of itself. I wholeheartedly agree. So here's what happens in like a typical situation that I see when things go south. Individual gets in trouble, something minor, something not too serious. Maybe they got into an argument with their girlfriend or fiance or their wife, and they get into a little scuffle, and they get charged with an assault 4. She goes and files a police report. Maybe police get called, they get arrested. So now they had a clean record before this, and an absolutely clean record before this, and now they have charges pending against them, and they have an arrest on their record. NDB, that's called gel, by the way. That's what I use for my hair. So somebody, getting arrested, now they're in the system, and they have a court date for which they have to show up, and they have to obviously put up a defense or plead guilty, etc. Now, let's say they go without a lawyer, so they don't know what they're doing. They don't have money for a lawyer. They get sucked in to the system, and now they have to show up to court, and they decide to just plead guilty and get it over with. Okay, so now they have a criminal record as a result of that, of their inability to hire a lawyer and afford one and to defend their case and get a good deal. Because you got to remember, we don't, when I say we win cases, it doesn't necessarily mean that we got a flat out dismissal 100% of the time. When we say we win, we get a result that is good or extraordinary or fantastic or just plain decent. That's, any of those could be a potential win. So an individual getting diversion or getting a deferred prosecution, we don't call it that, but that's essentially what it is. If you stay out of trouble for X number of months or years, the case gets dismissed, or it's usually no more than a year. So it is something called a set aside of the plea of guilt. So all of those are viable options, and they're great. But the majority of people, if they're going in without a lawyer, they don't know how to get those. And even if they ask for them, the prosecutor would not oblige them, because they have absolutely no reason to oblige the individual. They came there without a lawyer, and they're going to be paying the price. It's just the way it works. Well, here's the issue. So now, let's say the individual walks out of that courtroom. Now they have to do certain things, right? Within assault 4, let's use our assault 4 example. And let's say they're getting back with their girlfriend. Everything is fine. There is no emergency protective order. There's no custody issues. Nothing of that sort. Let's hypothesize. But with an assault 4, what do they have to do? They have to take anger management classes, more than likely. They have to pay a fine, probably. They have to pay court costs. They have to do all of those things. And let's say they walk out of that courtroom, and they're going to have a show cause date, something called a show cause date. This is the date by which they have to provide proof of the classes that they have done, and the date that the fines and court costs are due by. So here's the issue. If they don't get the things done, and if they don't show up to court on the show cause date, which could be even months away from the date of the plea, especially during COVID, the courts have been assigning show cause dates, 3, 4, 5, 6 months out. So the next time you're even it's gonna be on your radar, or should be on your radar, is April. Now, I don't know about you all, but before law school, when I was a college student, my calendar only went as far as about 2 weeks. My calendar pretty much ended November 7th. That was my window. November 7th, anything between now and November 7th would be like on my radar. Anything November 8th and further out was completely outside of my own personal purview. I didn't plan things weeks and months in advance. So when an individual gets a notification from the court and they will get a piece of paper, how often do you lose a piece of paper? All the frickin' time. All the time. So the chances of you losing that court piece of paper is very, very likely. And you're not going to remember your court date. You're going to miss your court date. And then what's going to happen? A bench warrant is going to go out for your arrest. Not only that, but if you fail to complete your anger management courses before you even get to your show cause date, they're going to notify the court that you failed to sign up, that you have not shown up, and you're not doing your due diligence, what you're supposed to be doing. So one little scuffle with your significant other has now created all this world of problems for you. So you see how dangerous it is by just getting sucked in. Let's use a simpler example. Just a simple traffic citation. Just getting a speeding ticket and failing to pay it and failing to come to court. That will suspend your license. I think in every single state. I'm 100% sure about Kentucky, and I think that's every state. And that's the problem with traffic court. So while your license is on your person, you're still going to be able to show it. But if you get pulled over in your state, your license will be suspended, almost certainly, for your failure to appear and take care of the ticket in the other state. So like I said, very callous and very unforgiving. So it's very, you have to pay attention. And that's where the problems come in. This is why I always recommend, you've heard the old joke, a person who represents themselves has a fool for a client. And it's true because emotions are involved. This is personal to you. This is your matter. This is something that is close to your heart. It involves you. It involves your issues. It involves your problems. It involves something that you are personally invested in. And it's never a good idea to mix business and pleasure. We all know that. Business and emotions is the same thing. Same thing. So, what's the difference between assault and battery? You got me on the spot here, Matthew Melito. I again, since I don't normally practice in this arena, but if I remember correctly, assault does not require contact. Battery is where assault is you apprehending the threat. Let's say a baseball bat is coming towards you and it hasn't made contact yet, but the baseball bat is about to hit you, and it's your fear, it's your apprehension that you're about to be hit. That's the assault portion of it. And then once the baseball bat actually makes contact, that's the battery. The contact is the battery. So you could have an assault without a battery, or you could have a battery without an assault. You know, somebody trying to get you to flinch or something like that. Imminent threat of violence. Thank you for the legalese, KD. I just, again, I couldn't remember it off the top of my head, but that's exactly what it is. So that's why they say assault and battery a lot of times. A lot of times we don't even have a quote unquote battery charge here in Kentucky. If you look at the statutes, it's just an assault, and there are varying degrees. Now, you've noticed in the example I've been providing, in Kentucky, we have 4 varying degrees of assault. Assault 4th degree is usually just domestic or non-domestic, maybe a bar fight with minor injuries. Assault 3rd is that's a misdemeanor, by the way. Assault 3rd is the first felony. It's a Class D felony, and it's reserved for an assault on a police officer, an assault on an EMS employee. Assault 2nd is a little bit more violent. It's a deadly weapon, you know, putting someone in the hospital with bloody nose, broken bones, and so on. Very, very severe assault would fall into the category of assault 2. And then assault 1st is pretty much with the intent to kill, or maybe using a motor vehicle and injuring someone. Could be an assault 1 or an assault 2. I think the difference between 1 and 2 is intent to injure or intent to kill, excuse me. Both of them are intent to injure, But if you tried to kill, attempted murder type deal, I think is an assault 1. So anyway, don't get me started. Menacing is a whole different issue. Menacing, trespass sometimes goes along with it if you're in the wrong place at the wrong time. But anyway, so getting back on track again, the system, even getting a speeding ticket, like I said, it just sucks you in. It sucks you in. And here's another issue. There's something called, obviously, we've all heard the term probation. And probation is not reserved for felons. You can have a low-level misdemeanor offense and still be placed on probation. Now, typically, it's going to be informal probation. What is the difference? Formal probation, you actually go out and you have to report to a police officer. Those are pretty much exclusively when it comes felony cases. Felony cases will have formal probation where you have a PO, probation officer, a probation officer for whom you report to, who keeps track of your case and making sure you're staying out of trouble, not doing drugs, and so on and so forth. It will include drug tests and regular appearances with the PO and the possible occasional sweep of the house to make sure you don't have any drug paraphernalia or weaponry or any things you're not supposed to have, even if you're not a convicted felon. They can, when it comes to probation for felons, they can, it's almost unlimited in the options that the judge can create in order to make sure that you're in compliance with your probation. And there's various varying degrees of what you can do as a judge, and make you do, of course, as the person on the other end. Well, informal probation usually works in misdemeanor cases. And informal probation is exactly what you imagine it to be. It's probation that does not require you to report to a police officer. I just realized that I forgot to turn on my ring light. Let me see if I can get that going here. Give me 1 second, you guys. Let me see if that's going to make it a little bit better. It should shine my face a little bit. There we go. I look a lot brighter now, a lot shinier. Sorry about that. I completely forgot. Like I said, I haven't streamed in almost 3 months, so you have to excuse me for forgetting to do that. So yes, very unforgiving, as I said, and I totally lost my train of thought as to where I was. But we'll simply say that it sucks you in. Like I said, it sucks you in, and if you're not careful, if you don't know what you're doing, you're going to pay the price. You're going to pay the price, because if you miss your court date and there's a warrant out for your arrest, all you have to do is simply be driving around one night and get pulled over for a broken taillight or broken headlight or expired registration, things you almost cannot control sometimes. And once the police officer sees that you have a warrant for your arrest, you're going to jail. And now you're going to have a new charge, the traffic offense, and then whatever else you got. And God forbid the charges are in a different county from the county where you get picked up. Why? Because it's going to take them 2 to 3 weeks to get you transported to the other county. And what does that mean for you? You can't set a bond because you're not in the county that's that's the one with the charges. You're literally a sitting duck for them to come pick you up and bring you to the county. Has to send a vehicle to come pick you up. And they have no interest in rushing. They have absolutely no interest in getting you transported as quickly as possible. They're going to do it on their dime and on their time. So they absolutely have no care in the world. And if you end up sitting there, I've seen people sit there for 2 to 3 weeks before they get picked up. And they may have, a simple assault, maybe a theft by unlawful taking, maybe a cold check case out of Bullitt County, which is next freaking door. And they get a ticket in Jefferson, but because they missed the court date in Bullitt, they have an outstanding warrant. They get arrested over the ticket in Jefferson, and a trip that takes maybe 15, 20 minutes door to door, they end up sitting in a cell in Jefferson County for 3 weeks waiting for Bullitt to come and pick them up. So very, very unfortunate. Hey guys, I'm sorry. I've been trying to read the chat. DA Kid DC, I missed you too, man. It's good to see you guys here. Thanks, Yatube69. Hey AJ. I'm trying to catch up on as many comments here as I can. So, hey Matthew Watkins. Yeah, I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna be streaming this weekly once again. So we have a wide array of topics that we're going to cover, and I think you all are going to enjoy. So you got it. Stop this. You got it, buddy. I think I just combined buddy and brother in one word. Butter. Anyway, so that's how the system operates in just in a nutshell. Of course, there's a whole lot more to talk about, but that's the intro to the main topic. So the other problem, and I'm sure you've all seen and heard maybe something similar. I think there was a 60-minute done on this. The issue with people signing up for things they cannot afford. So again, you come in without a lawyer. You come in and plead guilty to an offense you know you didn't commit, but you have no choice because you have no better options before you. You can't afford a lawyer, so you're just doing whatever you can by yourself and getting the best deal that you can. And now you have fines and costs, right? And let's say you can't afford those. Now, Kentucky, we're a little bit on the cheaper end. We have a lot of farmers, a lot of people who live in rural Kentucky. So I think Kentucky has kind of found a balance. We're a cheaper state to live in. Real estate is not as expensive here as in some other places I could mention. So that's always a good indicator of what the court costs are going to be. Like I remember my buddy got a expired registration, I believe, in Los Angeles County, LA. And he said he paid upwards of like $600 in fines and court costs, if not more. And he had a couple of charges, and each one was like $300, and then plus court costs, maybe like $850. That's the number I'm remembering in my head. And I'm like, holy crap! I can only imagine what the lawyer fees for something like that could be. But LA is a very, very expensive place to live in. South Florida, Joey Fouts, exactly. That's another place that's extremely expensive to live in, like Miami, South Beach. I imagine tickets down there are widely more expensive. So, you know, if you plead guilty in a place like LA County, and now you owe upwards of $1,000 in fines and costs, and you work a minimum wage job, how the heck are you going to pay your fines and court costs? You had no choice but to plead guilty to your offense, and now you're stuck, and the system is not going to forgive those. Unless the judge is going to allow volunteer work, and if the judge is not going to suggest it, it's your duty to inform the judge that you have can you have the possibility of doing volunteer work. Like here in Kentucky, you can perform volunteer work at the rate of $10 an hour to extinguish any type of fines and court costs you may have sometimes. Again, it's something you almost always have to ask for. Only a few judges in Kentucky that I know will affirmatively recommend and allow volunteer work, and because most of them you have to affirmatively ask. The judge will not sua sponte by themselves ask if you're interested in doing volunteer work. So that's going to be able to shave some of your fines and court costs. And sometimes judges will allow the fine to be paid with volunteer work, but not the court costs. So, you know, the fine could be like in Kentucky, our fines are pretty much on misdemeanor and traffic cases. The fines are pretty much capped at $500 for a misdemeanor. Thank you, Sergeant Frank Rock, for the $2 dono. Oh my goodness. It's been so long since I received a donation. I forgot you guys can actually do that. Thanks, Sergeant Frank. He's asking, are you cases building up again. I'll get to that in just a second. Let me just finish this thought. So if you have, in Kentucky, a fine, and usually the prosecutors, even though they have the option of assigning such a high fine, they typically don't. On traffic offenses, they max out at $100. For Class B misdemeanors, they're $250, and Class A misdemeanors are $500. And very rarely do you see a fine like more than $100 for the most part, which is nice. Prosecutors are very, they already understand the conviction and the charge itself, and the fee, the lawyer fee that the client had to incur are punishment enough. And another thing that I've noticed when I go to the smaller counties, in the smaller counties, prosecutors are sometimes very forgiving because of the charges, because especially if it's a low-level charge like a traffic offense, thank you, Gwag. The judges, the prosecutors know, and I've heard this quite a few times. They say, look, your client has already went through the trouble of going ahead and paying and hiring you, so I'm just gonna give them, this, or dismiss the charge, because that's just enough. That's just enough for them, for that person to suffer the punishment of having to pay a lawyer already, which is really nice. It's really nice, but not most prosecutors are not like that, especially when it comes to big cities like Louisville and so on. Sergeant Frank Rock, I don't know if you were here. I'm going to address your comment again. Thank you for the $2 dono, brother. I don't know if you were here in the beginning, but I was mentioning that so you guys haven't seen me in 3 months. August was kind of crappy. July was definitely our best month in the COVID season, but August kind of went down, and then September has been completely in the crapper because of the Breonna Taylor situation. Louisville was pretty much shut down for almost what felt like 2 weeks, even though it was only a week, but it almost felt like it was 2 weeks. And so we lost a lot of business. People were just holed up in their homes, and there were a lot of protest issues and so on. But October has been very kind, knock on wood. So it's getting a little bit better. And hopefully it will continue this trend. I mean, my employees and I, we already had this conversation. They're all worried about their jobs, and I told them they have nothing to worry about. We will survive this. We knock on wood. I'm pretty good at getting the word out there in getting business, it seems like. So hopefully we'll weather the storm. And again, I don't see somebody is wait a second. I think there's a current client in no, not a current client, a potential client in the chat. Now, I don't think that's ever happened before. Attorney-client confidentiality has just been thrown out the window, pursuant to the client's own initiative. I guess I have to watch out for that now. That has never happened before. Anyway, it's not a big deal. It's really not a big deal at all. But I guess that's interesting. That's never happened before. So I knew I recognized the name. So anyway, no, Billy Jones, I disagree. We should not legalize drinking and driving, but I think that officers should stop arresting people who have not committed the crime, because all police officers are interested in is to generate revenue. I mean, I think I'm going to post something on my social media this upcoming week. I saw an article where like 3 officers were receiving awards for most DUIs and most arrests, DUI arrests or something like that, or DUI convictions. I'm not sure. And that's, to me, that's despicable, because now these officers and others have an incentive to go and get as many DUIs as they can, and they will not only lie, that's the easy part, but they'll arrest people who have absolutely no business being arrested for DUI. They will arrest people who are being responsible. They're sleeping in their cars, or they may be under the legal limit and they still get charged anyway. And because they can't afford a lawyer, they have to plead guilty, and they plead guilty and they have a conviction for a DUI that any lawyer worth their salt would easily be able to beat that charge in court. So you're right, doodly doo. Law enforcement is a very successful racket. And in the interview I did with Audit the Audit, I don't know if any of you guys follow Audit the Audit. He's a good dude, by the way. Let me share a link in the description of he's already over 500,000 subscribers. That is crazy. I knew he was going to get there very fast, but I didn't realize how fast he was going to get there. I did an interview on his channel. Now, excuse the beard. I had a goatee back then, and I decided to shave it. Obviously, as you all can see, I got rid of it. Mickey W, you saw that one? You saw that interview? That's really cool. ATA, yeah, ATA is he's a good guy. It's a great channel, and he's a really good guy too. John Lang, I think his name is, the one who runs it. So again, much love. Shout out ATA. Here you go. There's your plug. So in there, I talk about how policing has become not only for profit. We all know that policing for profit is the name of the game. But not many people know that police departments have become, and governments really have become, reliant on this revenue that police departments generate for traffic offenses and DUIs. So if they don't meet specific quotas, which again, no officer will ever agree, no chief in his department will ever admit to, that there are quotas, but they exist. You will never find them on paper, but time and time again, when I represent my clients and I see these cases that are just so borderline, they are prosecutorial loser cases. It's pretty much a slam dunk almost for the defense. And prosecutors are still adamant sometimes about taking them to trial, and it blows my mind. And I don't know what to discount it on. Is it lack of experience? Is it zealousness? Is it just a desire to roll the dice and see what happens? And I've run into it so many times. It's starting to become a little bit less, again, COVID being part of it, but also I think my reputation is finally starting to precede me. So when they see my name, maybe that has some sort of an effect. I don't know. I have absolutely no idea what is the generating factor here. But what I can tell you is that a lot of these cases should not be charged. These clients don't deserve the DUI. And this is another, oh my God, scary fact. Sometimes my clients get arrested simply for giving lip to the officer. And they get charged with charges that may or may not even belong, just because the officer wants to throw the book at them because he has a personal vendetta against my client. I mean, what kind of shit is this? That is the most absurd thing I have ever heard of, but it's reality. I get it. Okay, fine. You're a cop. You're a human being. You get emotional. You get upset. You get annoyed. So you're like, you know what? Screw this guy. I'm just gonna, whatever charges I can think of, I'm just gonna write down, and then whatever sticks. And if he wants to hire a lawyer, then so be it. But you gotta, you're dealing with a person. You're exactly, Gwag. You're literally ruining a person's life by doing that. You are potentially, ruining their career, ruining their ability to make money, ruining their criminal record. Everything is being ruined just because the individual gave lip to the police officer. And it's atrocious. It's despicable, but unfortunately it exists. So, and that's another thing that we have to deal with sometimes. I have a case right now where the police officer was so mad, that he ended up going to the person's property. And I believe, well, they said some things, and I can't go into detail. It's still a pending case, and I don't know who's watching this, so I'm going to keep the facts to myself for now. But eventually, maybe we'll talk about this case. And exactly, DJ81, you got to leave your feelings at home. You cannot, as a police officer, no matter who you are. I mean, I've dealt with prosecutors. You've seen the videos of prosecutors who cannot leave their emotions at the door and make the case personal. I cannot stand those prosecutors. I mean, they make my job easier, especially in front of a jury. But you know, when you cannot control your emotions, when you don't understand that I'm not here to screw with you as a person. I am not here to make you look like a fool or to make you look like an idiot or try and embarrass you. I'm only doing my job. I'm only doing what I've been hired to do, which is to defend the client to the best of my ability. That's it. And if you as a prosecutor cannot respect that or cannot come to terms with the fact that I'm not attacking you, this is not an, what's the legal fallacy? Ad hominem attack, ad hominem fallacy. I'm not attacking you as a person. I'm not attacking your character. If you cannot get that through your head, if you cannot process that information and understand that I'm simply doing what I am supposed to be doing, which is my job, that's when we have a problem. Now, again, I think I've mentioned this before, and I'll mention it again. Most prosecutors are really good. They understand, and we shake hands at the end, even no matter what the outcome was. The case I tried in January. I mean, even at the end, after the prosecutor lost, he tried to pull another fast one because my client did refuse, and he wanted to like give the maximum refusal suspension that he could. And I didn't even feel, I didn't take it as him trying to give me the finger one last time. I thought it was very professional. He found, by legal means, he found a way to give my client the shaft, and he had every right to do so, and he did. And I just had to take it as is. There's nothing I could do about it other than make an argument about splitting the baby and giving my client less time for his suspension and so on and so forth. So I think and at the end we shook hands again, and I stood there and I stayed for a little bit after the case was over, and we were just chatting about life and the profession and so on. So I love that. I absolutely love that because, and even if I had lost that trial, I would have still stuck around and chatted. Again, and this goes beyond the courtroom. This goes to every aspect, to every profession, every relationship in life. You cannot mix your emotions with business. That's why, creating a business with family is always a dangerous thing, because it's hard to boss somebody around or be on business terms with somebody if you're trying to form a relationship. Emotions will get in the way. Business will get in the way of emotions. Emotions will get in the way of the business, and so on. So you have to be able to separate the two. And if you can't, you're going to have problems. If you can't separate the two, you're going to have some very, very serious problems. So the prosecutors I deal with that go and are unable to separate the two, that's where issues arise. So let's get back to talk about the system a little bit. I feel like we've gone off course, but not really. This is still all court-related, system-related, and so on. I want to open it up for questions. We're already at 1 hour and 5 minutes, but while you guys are typing up your questions, I want to continue on with my little bitty lecture, as I was saying. So, like I said, the system is very, very unforgiving because once you get sucked in, it's very, very hard to get out, especially if you cannot afford to pay the fines and court costs that have been imposed on you. You got to be careful. You got to make sure that the guilty plea that you are signing, it's an agreement. You got to remember it's an agreement. And if you don't follow the words of the agreement, you're going to get screwed. Okay? And like any contract, like any agreement with anyone, you're going to have to abide by it. And if you fail to abide by it, like I said, the system has some very, very nasty teeth for which to bite you in the butt later on if you fail to abide by the conditions of your probation, or conditions of your parole, or conditions of your release, or conditions of your agreement, your plea agreement with the court. So thank you so much, Patricia Lynn. I appreciate it. So I'm not seeing any questions. Well, if you're pimping your wife like Foyers, I think you have other problems to deal with. Why is it so hard to find and retain civil rights attorneys? All right, I guess we're taking a turn here. Asks John DeNicola. You're saying it's hard. Why is it hard? I don't know. I mean, I don't know what kind of case you have. Civil rights attorneys typically, I mean, I guess I could answer that. Civil rights attorneys, they don't take every single case. Here's the problem. Here's the classic scenario. I've gotten this question more than the times than I can count. Individual gets arrested. They get harassed by the cops. They get harassed by the jailer. No real injuries other than emotional trauma and humiliation and embarrassment. And they want to sue the shit out of the police department. Well, the problem with doing that is there really is very little money that you can extract when there are no real damages. What I mean by real damages, I mean physical damage. I mean, if there's a, God forbid, a death, I mean, that is the ultimate case. I mean, we have one of those cases out of Fulton, Kentucky, that we represent people, the deceased on. If you have been beaten by a guard, that's another classic example, you know, broken bones, fractured skull, broken nose, things like that. Those civil rights cases, I guarantee that you're not going to have any issue finding an attorney, a civil rights attorney. But when you're simply being harassed, you know, maybe completely uncalled for, and Hillbilly Caucus called it right there a minute ago, damages, the absence of damages. So you got to remember, in any case, you really have two elements. In reality, there's a whole lot more, but in reality, if you really want to get down to the nuts and bolts, you only have two types, two elements in any case. You have the injury and the damages, right? By injury, I don't necessarily mean physical, but you were harmed. Nobody files suit unless they were harmed. So if you were harmed in some way, it could be emotional trauma. It could be, like I said, humiliation, embarrassment. Maybe somebody lied to you, you know, so on and so forth. Libel, slander, any type of defamation. The problem is damages. This is the second prong of it. So the injury is clear. They did this to me, period. So let's say you win on that. Let's say after, you know, a year or 2 years of litigation, you got that in the bag. But what are the damages as a result of that? What have you actually suffered? Well, I didn't like it. That's not enough. You know, well, they broke my nose. Well, that's getting there. That's already a whole lot more severe than I didn't like what they did to me, or they violated my constitutional right to be free from harassment. That's not enough. You got the damage, but where's the damages? You got the injury. Where are the damages? Where damages equals money. Just remember that. Damages equals money. So the more damages you have, again, death being the extreme and everything trickling down underneath that. Now, there is an exception. There is an exception that I've noticed among attorneys. I don't really do these types of cases, but if you're a celebrity, if you're somebody who is high up the chain of notoriety, the higher up you are, the more likely that you're going to be able to recover damages on a not so simple case. So remember, there was a female, and some of you in the chat will probably find it quicker than I will. There was a female that she was pretty notorious. She was pretty well known. She hired an attorney because somebody leaked a nude photo of her. She was, I believe, changing or something, or maybe she sent nude photos to her significant other, and somebody found those and shared them all over the internet. And she filed a lawsuit, and I mean, she got millions. She got tens of millions. I think it was like 32 or 64 or something like that. Not Jennifer Lawrence. It was another one. I think it was Erin Andrews. Brad, I think you got it right. Was it Erin? I think it was Erin Andrews. She recovered millions, 55 million. There it is. Erin Andrews awarded $55 million in a lawsuit. Now, at the end, they filmed her through. Yes, that's right, Brad. They filmed her, which is egregious in and of itself. So you see that the nature of the harm that was done to the person. Number one, she had notoriety. People knew who she was, so she was already in the green there. The crime was heinous. I mean, to spy on somebody while they're I mean, that's just disgusting. And in and of itself. And when you combine those two, I mean, that is money. That is money. That's just the way it works. So other than the fact that it's a crime, it also very severely emotionally traumatized Ms. Andrews, and she was able to recover such a large sum. Again, remember, this wasn't even a settlement. Her lawyer took it all the way to trial, and the jury awarded it. So, I mean, that's big. That's big. And you have to pay attention to what the crime, well, it's not even always a crime, but sometimes it is. This is obviously a crime, voyeurism, I think somebody put in the chat. But the problem really is what is the injury? That's going to be almost universally the easy part. And then what are the damages that you suffered as a result? And if you can't stack up those damages, no lawyer is going to want to touch the case, because civil cases, civil rights cases, are done pretty much 100% on a contingency basis. Contingency means I only get paid if you get paid. So if I have to invest 1,000 hours of my time for $0 profitability, why on earth would I take a case like that? You see what I'm saying? So the more difficult the case, like another example in the same category, by the way, is med-mal cases, medical malpractice cases. And medical malpractice cases also, I've gotten calls about, there is a clear injury, an obvious clear injury. She has suffered, the doctor made a mistake, and she suffered as a result, let's say, right? Or he. And I can see the writing on the wall. You know, it's a $75,000 settlement, but I will need to invest 550 hours of my time and probably hire an expert for 2-3 experts for $50,000 total. So profitability, we're looking at about $25,000 in profit, and I get to keep a third or 40% of that. So I would invest 550 hours to make $8,000. Now, if we divide that up, you can see working a case for $14.50 an hour doesn't make much sense. So that's why lawyers are not taking these cases. That's why these lawyers are not taking these cases. So if you guys have any other questions, by the way, feel free. That was a great one. That was a great question. I already forgot who asked it. I'm sorry. Civil rights. John Denicola. John, thank you so much for that question. I wish I could give you a dono. That was a great question. I don't think donations only work one way. So John, I hope that answers your question. What do you mean by, is an attorney a stand-in, Mary Jones? DJ81 had a question. Okay, let me go find him. See. 81. Where are you, bud? What is the money go? Where does the money go when you pay your fines? It goes to the court If that was the question. Was that the question? Or was there another question? When you pay your fines, yeah, it goes to the court. What does the court do with the money? Well, there's actually a statute that outlines what the court does with the money, Joey Fouts. The money gets funneled through to various different organizations, obviously all government related, depending on what the charge is. But it goes right back into the court system to allow, it's payment for everybody. Judges are on salary, clerks are on salary, prosecutors are on salary. So all that money goes in there. It helps. Some of it goes to like traffic offenses. Some of the fines go to fund highways, fund roads. I wonder if I can find that statute. Obviously, if it's restitution for damages, that 100% of that goes to the victim. Don't remember. I almost never look at that statute because it's completely irrelevant for my purposes. Aquatrax123 asks, should I drive with a webcam, a dash cam, excuse me? I would say so. I was gonna get one, and somebody was gonna send one to me, but I think I need to get myself a new one, since the one I bought wasn't really working. I think I showed you guys back in April or May. Oh boy, this hair is gonna be bothering me. It's like sticking out. You guys see that? The camera was not working. I just couldn't get it to work. But dash cam is a very, very good idea. Very good idea. And yeah, Michelle Wyatt, you're basically paying. I mean, you're paying the government. What else? Where else do you guys think this money is going to go? I mean, come on, let's be real here. Do you think that the money just goes into a little funnel and just goes to help women and children in need? I mean, come on now. Andy Lucas, how corrupt is our system? Just as corrupt as everybody else. I mean, Kentucky is a little bit more on the higher end, but courts allegedly make up to $80 million a year. John DeNicola, I'm guessing you're referring to the entire system, like the court system in the U.S. I believe it. What percentage of the fines go to the big guy? I don't know. You can probably look it up. It's in the KRS. Good morning, Janine Stokes. Good morning. Wait, are you also in Australia, Janine? It's got to be on that side, right? So Japan, China, Australia, Philippines, somewhere on that end. Since you're saying good morning, because it's about to be good night here. What did you ask, Clint? I must have missed it. You just wanted to hear my take on it. I've heard some things like if I get pulled over, my passenger doesn't have to give up their ID, and I've heard you don't have to give your ID to the police if they have no probable cause to ask for it. I believe there's case law on that you have to ID yourself. People hear and read silly things on the internet. No, you have to identify yourself, because the problem is you could be not convicted. You could have a warrant on you, and the officer must know who they're dealing with, because if you could be a convicted felon with multiple outstanding cases for which you never showed up to court for and have warrants on, and you could be a very dangerous individual. You have to ID yourself. It's officer safety. There's no way around it. You have to identify yourself and to provide identification once requested. So that's definitely one. Yes. Okay. Let me see if I can find it. There's the United States Supreme Court. Identifying yourself. I think the case, if I remember correctly, it's Hibble versus 6th Judicial District Court of Nevada. This is a Nevada case. It might not be it. But let's see if we can get... stop. Oh, it's a stop and identify statute. Now, we probably don't want to look at this one. It's been a while. I don't do these types of cases, so you'll have to excuse me. I'm very... I don't have them ready at the drop of a hat. The application of the Texas statute to detain appellant and require him to identify himself violated the Fourth Amendment because the officer lacked probable suspicion to believe. Okay, you guys are asking me two different things. Can you criminally charge someone for their failure to identify themselves? I would say absolutely not. To detain, so if you refuse to identify yourself, the police officer cannot use that as a reason to arrest you. Okay, that's out of the question. That's out of the question. What I'm saying is, when you are requested to provide ID, the Supreme Court has said, and I don't know where that case is. I just remember reading it a long time ago. If the police officer, it's safety. It's a safety issue for the officer to understand who they're dealing with, because you could be like I said, a criminal on the run. You could be someone who just escaped from jail. You could be anybody. They don't know who you are. You could be armed and dangerous. So it falls into officer safety as to whether or not they can ask and require you to identify yourself. Now, if they suspect that you've committed a crime and they have probable cause for arrest, they'll arrest you and then, in due course, identify you anyway. But can they criminally charge you? I believe that's the Brown v. Texas. I think whoever shared that, who shared the Brown v. Texas case, John DeNicola. I appreciate that. I think that's exactly the case. The application of I'm reading the decision of the Brown v. Texas, 443 U.S. 47. It's a 1979 case decided by Justice Berger. The application of the Texas statute to detain appellant and require him to identify himself violated the Fourth Amendment because the officer lacked any reasonable suspicion to believe that appellant was engaged or had engaged in criminal conduct. Detaining appellant to require him to identify himself constituted a seizure of his person, subject to the requirement of the Fourth Amendment that the seizure be reasonable. The Fourth Amendment requires that such a seizure be based on specific, objective facts indicating that society's legitimate interests require such action, or that the seizure be carried out pursuant to a plan embodying explicit, neutral limitations on the conduct of individual officers. That's Delaware v. Prowse, a very, very popular case, by the way, cited in this opinion. Here, the state does not contend that appellant was stopped pursuant to a practice embodying neutral criteria, and the officer's actions were not justified on the ground that they had a reasonable suspicion based on objective facts that he was involved in criminal activity. Absent any basis for suspecting appellant of misconduct, the balance between the public interest in criminal prevention and appellant's right to personal security and privacy tilts in favor of freedom from police interference. Again, in this case, two police officers, while cruising near noon in a patrol car, observed appellant and another man walking away from another in an alley in an area with a high incidence of drug traffic. That's speculation, okay? That is pure speculation. That is pure conjecture. You cannot stop somebody on a hunch. They stopped and asked the appellant to identify himself and explain what he was doing. You cannot do that, period. So I'm sorry if I misunderstood you guys. You cannot do that. This is obvious, and I apologize if I didn't explain myself properly. Simply coming up and saying, hey, you, identify yourself, what are you doing? This is the clear case, obviously. What I was referring to is you have already committed a traffic violation, some sort of misdemeanor crime, something of that nature, and then the officer asks you to identify yourself. Therein lies the difference. I hope you guys see that. This is what I was referring to. So let's finish reading. This is a fascinating case, by the way. I remember reading it back in law school. One officer testified that he stopped appellant because the situation looked suspicious and he had never seen that subject in that area before. I mean, look at this is almost like Nazi Germany type talk, right? This is almost type Germany, Germany type talk, Nazi Germany. Where are you? Who are you? Where are you going? Where are your papers? What is your name? It's completely it's ludicrous. It's completely ludicrous. Thank you, Karen Walker, for the $5 dono. I'll get to your question in just a moment. Let me just finish reading this one. One officer testified. Okay, I already read that. The officers did not claim to suspect appellant of any specific misconduct. There it is. I mean, no violation of the law, period. Nor did they have any reason to believe that he was armed. Nothing. I mean, literally, it's a rover interaction, rover stop of a person. When appellant refused to identify himself, he was arrested in violation of a Texas statute, which makes it a criminal act for a person to refuse to give his name and address to an officer. I mean, that's insane. Who has lawfully stopped him and questioned for information. Appellant's motion to set aside on the ground that it violated First, Fourth, Fifth, 14th Amendment was denied, and he was convicted. Obviously, we already said the decision was unanimous. I mean, that's a big FU to Texas right there. And it was the decision was his conviction was reversed. So where are your papers? What is your name? Identify yourself. Statutes do not pass constitutional muster. That's a given. But once a criminal act has been detected or a traffic offense of any sort, then you are potentially subject to, if the officer asks you to identify yourself, at that point you must. You must inform him of who you are. You don't have to tell him where you were, what you were doing, where you were going. But identification, there's a case on that somewhere. Maybe some of you all can find it as well. That you have to identify who you are, just to make sure that you're not someone with active warrants and a potential danger to the police officer. But yeah, don't answer questions other than who you are. You can give them your ID and shut your mouth. Karen Walker, thank you again for the $5 dono. When an attorney takes a simple traffic ticket case, how would you explain why they or you, I would never, based on what I'm about to read, would charge $2,000 for a 20-minute appearance? Well, first of all, Karen, I would like to know, where is this traffic offense? I'm gonna wait for you to answer. Which jurisdiction are you in, Karen, that an attorney is charging you $2,000 for a traffic offense? That's my first question. My second question is going to be, while you're typing the answer to the first question here, hopefully, of where it is. My second question is, what type of, well, I guess you already answered that. Simple traffic ticket. What are the charges of this quote unquote simple traffic ticket? I can't take your word for it that this is just going to be like a speeding, unless the lawyer really is just trying to rob the hell out of you, which who knows? I mean, I don't know the person. So Karen, I'm waiting for you to answer because I'm curious where this is. Because again, if this is like Los Angeles County and your quote unquote simple traffic ticket is let's say a failure to yield to a police officer as they're trying to get by, I mean, that's a pretty serious traffic offense in a pretty expensive place. And maybe 2,000 is a little bit on the higher end, but not unreasonable. Now, if you got caught speeding in rural Kansas City, Missouri, or not Kansas City, but rural rural Missouri or rural Kentucky or rural Alabama, and it's just a 22 over speeding ticket, well, $2,000 is extremely unreasonable at that point. Extremely unreasonable. So I don't know. I don't know the answer. I can't answer that without more information. I'm still waiting on you to provide more information. Karen, where are you, Karen? You disappeared on me, Karen. Karen. Really, 1,500 to 2,000 is the average cost for a simple case. Somebody said find a different attorney. Maybe, I don't know. I can't judge. Karen, where are you, Karen? Somebody find Karen. Where did Karen go? Karen Walker. Karen. Okay, I guess Karen decided to disappear. She just asked the question with a donation and then left. Wait, no, you didn't. Where is the response? I missed it. Did I miss it? Drafting motions being filed. No, I don't see a response. Well, where is it? It was my question. Did you? I have live chat on. I have live chat, so I would be able to see everything. I just did a Control F and I couldn't find it. Well, anyway, if it was a red line beside it, I'll retype. Okay, go ahead and retype. Let's while we wait on that. What other questions do people have? By the way, we reached like 202 peak concurrent viewers. That's awesome. I'm so glad that people are interested in this topic. I kind of, I guess, expected that, but what, you guys don't like my hair? Why don't you like my hair? My hair is beautiful. My gorgeous hair. You do not want to see it without gel, though. Let me tell you that. Am I an Arizona attorney? No, Jimmy Green. I'm a Kentucky attorney. Woo! Good hair. Yeah, take the gel out and it just goes poof, like it goes out to here now. It's huge. Hello from Florida. Hey, Zach. Okay, I don't have a case myself currently. I worded my question poorly. I meant more as a simple loitering or traffic, less than serious criminal. Oh, okay. All right. I mean, yeah, $2,000 is an extremely unreasonable fee for a hypothetical simple traffic offense. Period. Does that answer the question? It sounds like it does. Maybe Karen is from Mexico and it was 2,000 pesos. Oh man, that Billy Jones. Oh, you're on the money tonight, man. I think because you can't tell, right? It's does the S have 2 lines through it or 1? It has a 1 line through it. So it's I think it's pesos. I think Billy Jones just hit the nail on the head. 2,000 pesos. How many dollars is that? Right now, I just came back from Mexico not that long ago. The conversion was about 21 pesos to $1. $95 for a traffic citation is super cheap. So if Karen was talking about 2,000 pesos for a simple traffic stop, Billy Jones, I think you got it. 2,000 pesos is a very, very reasonable fee. So Karen, I changed my answer. 2,000 pesos is very reasonable for los tráficos ofensos. Los simple traffic stop de speeding de 27 miles per hour. Hypothetically, oh man, Karen is bombarding us with the hypotheticals, guys. Karen just wants to bombard us with hypotheticals. Okay, let's see. Hypothetically, if I came in with a running stop sign ticket, okay, so she claims that she hasn't, but hypothetically speaking, if I came in with a running stop sign ticket, simple in and out, okay, see, there's the danger right there, by the way. It's never a simple in and out. It can be, but you can never assume. You never know what the facts are. What would your fee possibly be? I don't live anywhere near around seeing you as the difference from South Carolina to Kentucky. Running a stop sign. I mean, if it truly was just a simple traffic ticket, probably like $250, 300 at the most, 350 if there's some unusual circumstances, because it's a traffic offense at the end of the day. I mean, also depends on if you have a prior history. If this is like your 12th ticket, you're going to have a problem. You're going to have some serious problems and potentially losing your license. But if if this is just like your first offense or whatever, I mean, like probably $250 or something. Not unusual. But some lawyers will do the ticket for like $35. That's the lowest I've ever seen in Kentucky. Believe it or not, $35 to take a ticket. I think it's a disgrace to our profession. Personally, I value my time way more than like $12 an hour for my work. But the Karen fee is $1,500 up front. CSR 6969 says. Come on, that's just mean. That's just mean. She's not a Karen. Just her name is Karen. So that's not fair. I disagree. That's not fair. Do I have an opinion on your Supreme Court Justice ACB? Not sure what you're asking. Thanks, Mike Newland. Karen Walker. Oh, here we go. That's very fair, and I respect. By the way, I'll get to the donation in just a second. IS. Karen Walker says that's very fair, and I respect that, and that's great for the people of your area in Pennsylvania or South Carolina. You won't touch an attorney for under $1,000, regardless of how small. Haha, I'm not. Oh, that's funny. Okay. No, 1,500 pesos. That's like $60, man. Tim Rico, I don't know where you're finding lawyers for $60, but you may want to go the other way. I'm fighting a ticket. So IS, thank you for the $5 dono, brother. I'm fighting a ticket for parking in a handicap spot. Oh, that's an interesting one. This was at 12 a.m., very dark, did not see the sign. Also, it wasn't marked with any blue lines. Ooh, that's big. Ooh, that's big. Okay, those are very, very specific and, in my opinion, very, very good facts. Now, here's the problem. That parking ticket, let me guess, is probably $15. If you wait 2 weeks to pay it, it's going to be $25. At least that's the way it is in Kentucky. Some places, if this is in California, it may be a $200 ticket. I don't know. I don't know where you are, IS, so I guess I'll wait on that. But if you're fighting a ticket for a handicap spot, there are certain requirements that the handicap spot must have, and it's in the statute. You just got to find it. That it's got to be marked. It's got to have a sign. It's got to have that blue little guy on the wheelchair. It's got to have the lines, or at least, if not the lines, it's got to have blue markings on each side. If you can go to that place, take a photo of it, and contest it, you may be able to win. Now, good luck finding a lawyer, because again, you're going to get charged 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times the value of the ticket. So it's probably not worth, especially because parking violations don't carry points since it's not a moving violation. They do stack if you don't pay them. And if you get like 5 or 6, you can get a boot. So don't do that. But sometimes maybe just paying it might be New York, $225. Okay, here we go. Florida, $250. Yeah, we're cheap as hell here in Kentucky. I'm telling you, a parking violation, $15. If you don't pay it in 2 weeks and you want to like appeal, drag it out, it's like $25 after 2 weeks. So if you still end up having to pay it. The cool thing, I remember, here's a story for y'all. In my second year of law school, I got a parking ticket. And you're not going to believe this. This was fascinating. I used to park in a little area. So it was like a residential area. It was a residential area with like a little, they had a curb on where the houses were. And then there was a curb and bushes, and then the highway was on the other side. So there were no houses or anything. And most people would always park on that side. But the one day I came in, that one day, there were no spots over there. There was all booked. All students usually took up all those spots. But on the other side, and I seriously, I did not even notice this. Somebody drew with spray paint, with white or black. I can't remember. It wasn't black, but it wasn't white either. Like it wasn't noticeable. They drew like a no parking in front of their house because I guess people were blocking their driveway maybe, and they just had trouble getting out of their house sometimes because all these freaking law students, guilty, right? But I never blocked their entryway. But some students were dumb, and I guess they would block their driveway. So I remember one day coming back that same day, and I got a ticket. I was like, what? I got a ticket for a parking violation. And I moved my car slightly, and I realized there truly was spray paint on the ground, which I couldn't even see because it was so poorly done. It was handmade, and I appealed it, and I ended up winning. It was the first case I ever won as I wasn't even an attorney at that point. But that's one of the things that you can fight. So if they don't follow the strict requirements, ours are like $15, Joe Gillian. By the way, I saw a donation. JJ Pearson, brother, thank you for the $2 dono. Says, great channel, love the court videos. Thank you, my man. Thank you so much. So let's see. Are there any questions here? My father-in-law used to get his DUI magically reduced to reckless with no court appearance here in Arkansas with a hefty upfront fee to his attorney. I mean, shady dealings, Gwag, they happen all over the country. So we in my office, we don't do shady dealings. We do things by the letter of the law. And not just Arkansas. I mean, Kentucky has its own flavor. Everybody has a flavor of corruption in it, but such is life. Does anybody have any other? Oh, here we go. Eric asks, how would you handle a case with involuntary intoxication from accidental ingestion of household chemicals and a recent head injury with a refusal to submit to a urine test? Masterfully. That's how I would handle it. How would you handle a tinted windows case? The same way. Masterfully. Any other questions? I could go all day. What makes you not want to take a DUI case? Nothing. I will take, unless you're the most annoying client I've ever heard, which it takes a while to get there. I've only fired 2 clients in my entire career. Zappy Eats. Oh, thank you for the $10 dono, brother. Pens v Memes says an officer can make you get out of your car for officer safety if you get pulled over for like a seatbelt violation. Yes. Would that not be unlawfully extending a traffic stop? And not necessarily. It depends. If the officer suspects that additional investigation is necessary and for officer safety, they can do that. And again, you got to remember Terry versus Ohio, and not Richardson. What's the other one? Rodriguez, the dog case that we talked about in a previous video. They all require swift action. It's all it's about. You can't unreasonably delay a stop. 10, 15, 20 minutes is the limit depending on what the situation is. But if asking you to get out of the car and do a brief investigation of you as a person over the violation that has just occurred, I don't see a problem with it. Yes, Joey Fouts, I did fire 2 clients. One, I simply could not handle. I mean, I've also been fired before by only by also like a couple of clients. Those were situations where they fired me before I fired them. It was who's going to get to the other first, really. And it's never about like real things like fees or how you're representing me. It's either sovereign citizen bull crap, which I've encountered once or twice. I cannot. They're asking me to do things that are plainly illegal or unethical, and I just fire them and return the money. Almost always, I will give 100% refund unless I've done some significant work on the case. A Karen client. No, some clients are demanding. You see, you gotta understand the difference, because I have a lot of clients who are demanding to various degrees. And demanding clients you just got to understand how to deal with them. They need help. They're not being jerks because they want to be jerks. Sometimes they're being jerks because they want to know what's going on with their case, and they have an unreasonable set of expectations as to when and how they're going to be informed about their case. I'm not here to hold your hand and to call you 2 times a day to let you know how your case is going. If that's what you're looking for, you need to go somewhere else. And once I explain to the clients, or have one of my associates explain to the client, we had one actually just yesterday. She was very upset. I paid a lot of money, which she did, and I was not getting the representation that I was hoping for, which in her mind, she wasn't. The reality was, we haven't even gone to court yet. We had a court appearance set for like Tuesday or Monday. And he explained it to her, calmed her down, and now she's back to earth and everything is good, Gucci. Everything is fine. It's all about expectations, setting expectations, making sure that clients don't have unreasonable expectations in that regard. And I'm usually pretty good about explaining it and getting them to understand. Sometimes it takes a little bit. Yeah, emo hippie 420. My German accent came out in the middle of a sentence, I guess. I don't know what happened there. My brain must be getting tired. Okay. How would you handle annoying prosecutors and judges? That's a little bit more difficult. Those you kind of have to just deal with, Christopher Matthias. I mean, you just gotta roll with the punches. There's no other way of saying it. Why the legal system is so callous and unforgiving. We touched upon that this one, Villian. We've talked about it earlier, so you're gonna have to go back and review. We got so many people in here. So many comments are flying. I can't keep up. Let's see. Let me scroll back up. How do I feel about First Amendment auditors? Jerry, I talk about that in my interview. So I'm just going to post the link here for you, Jerry Farrell. This is the link. So I talk about it in that video, in my interview. What did Joe say? I've had cops straight make things up in order to stop me claiming my taillight. Oh yeah, the cops do that all the time, by the way, because they know they're taught in the academy that in order to stop somebody, you have to have pretext. It doesn't matter what the pretext. I'm sorry, not pretext. You got to have a violation. It doesn't matter what the pretext is. So if they just want to stop you because they feel like stopping you, and then they're going to lie in the citation and say your taillight was out or your. I mean, I had a call 2 days ago. My client says, I got pulled over because they said my license plate was not illuminated. That's a violation, traffic violation, not having your license plate illuminated. She says, I've looked at my license plate that night. She ended up getting a DUI. And after she got released, she looked at the license plate light and it was on. Again, how do you prove that? If there's no video, and a lot of police officers, the scary fact, yeah, Ren, exactly, Joseph. We got a lot of legal scholars in the chat tonight. My goodness. I love it. I absolutely love it. My people are here. Ren, exactly. Pretextual stops are okay so long as there's at least some sort of violation. And they know it. If you get stopped and they don't have any reason to pull you over, I mean, this is what they do. Police officers will stop 10 cars and go, "I smell weed in the car." Well, guess what's going to happen in one of those 10 times? They're going to find weed. The other 9 are going to go on their merry way. And the 10% of cases, they're actually going to get weed in the car. So, oh damn it, Lime Crewmate, you're making me want to play Among Us. Although I much prefer to play Imposter. I love my Imposter games. Imposter just seems so much easier sometimes than Crewmate, just because, especially if the cooldown on the kill rate is so low. But anyway, I digress. What state do I practice in? This one villain, excuse me. Kentucky. I'm in Kentucky. We play Among Us in the Chad. Dash cams. Get your own dash cam. If the officer doesn't have one, I have a case now where the individual recorded the interaction on their own personal cell phone. So I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be a really interesting one. So I guess we'll see. Why are people commenting on that video that the 46-second video that I did as a prelude to this one? I don't understand. 200 it's got 210 views and 8 comments. It's 46 seconds of me telling people, come to this video and don't go to that one. That makes okay. Well, it is what it is. Does anybody have any other questions? Oh, you're in Maine. Cool, Swan Villain. That's awesome. Never been to Maine. Yeah, hit that like button. Smash that like. Don't forget, like this video. Comment below. Subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell. I need to be saying that more. Sometimes I forget. Like I said, it's been a while for me, so don't forget to smash that like. How did you get in here? I don't know. We're not playing Among Us, Lime Crewmate, so you must be in the Matrix. Any other questions before we start wrapping this puppy up? We're already at 206 people. Wow. How long after law school did I open my practice? After I passed the bar, 1 day. Thank you for the sub, Swan Villain. I think we hit 48,000. So, woohoo! 48,000 subscribers. That's great. I'm almost at 50,000. By the end of the year, we'll probably get there. Maybe even sooner. 40. Yeah, we're at 48. Very cool. Very, very cool. Super stoked. Lime Crewmate, are you a lawyer? No, I'm just dressed like one with a bunch of lawyer diplomas behind me. Yeah, 48K. That's really cool. License plate frames only illegal when bars close. I've no idea what you're talking about, Mr. Mufu, to you. Do I watch the Pot Brothers at Law? I did, until they started live streaming on Twitch, Michael Hill, and on YouTube. And I don't understand what their game plan is. I hope they have one. I mean, they do some interviews, which are great, but the 2 or 3 times I caught them, they were just saying hi to people in the chat for like an hour and not talking about anything. And it seemed like a waste of my time to just sit there and listen to them read other people's names. It's like I'm going to be sitting here and reading, oh, hey, Brad Bridger, how you doing, man? Oh, hey, Concrete Man. Oh, hey, Mary. Hey, Mike, how you doing? Hey, Joey. Hey, Jimmy. Hey, Clint. Oh, good to see you, man. Hey, Michael. Daniel, that's what's up. Hey, Daniel. Hey, Joseph. You know, it seems that's literally all it was. And that was very, it makes people feel good, I suppose. To me, it seems like quite, hey, Vincent. Hey, emo hippie. Hey, Billy. Hey, Zap. Whoa, what's up, guys? Hey, Sing. See, it's very, it's annoying. I think it's annoying. So Are you always at fault if you blow over in an accident? Not always. Absolutely not always, Tanya. Hey, Concrete Man. Oh, I already called you. Yeah, exactly, Joey. It's pointless. So, okay. Oh, here's a question. Brad asks, "How did I get my first client?" That's actually a fun question. So after I found out that I passed the bar, I sat down and kind of, tried to figure out. I had to get sworn in. So the day I got sworn in, the next day I opened my LLC, and of course I posted on Facebook like, "Hey, I'm a lawyer. Come to me." This is October 2013. One of my friend's sister, I mean, she was a friend too. We just didn't hang out as much. Reached out to me and said that she has an uncontested divorce and if I could help her. So believe it or not, the DUI guy's first case was an uncontested divorce. True story. The only divorce I've ever done in my entire career was my very first case. And at that point, I was going to take anything. And I just wanted business and money, of course. So I still have a copy of that check, of course, with the numbers at the bottom redacted. I was gonna frame it, but I forgot what I did with it. You can see, by the way, the first dollar I've ever made is hanging behind me. That's me doing stand-up comedy. Believe it or not, that's the first dollar I ever made in my entire life. I didn't work outside the family, so I wasn't really generating money until I was like 25, literally, like when I finished law school. But anyway, so that was the first money I ever made. Was an uncontested divorce. I think she paid me like $150 just to create the paperwork. It was very easy. But at that time, it was very, very scary because I was like, I have no idea what I'm doing. I have no idea what I was doing. And the first time I went to court, Gwag, to kind of bleed into that next question, my first court appearance, I was filling in for another lawyer, and he paid me to travel and just kind of fill in for him. So it wasn't even my case. And it was like, it was a probate case. And these people had like 100 questions for me. And I'm standing there like, I don't know the answer to any of this. And I had to literally like bullshit my way. And law school kind of teaches you how to BS through it. So I kind of BS'd my way through answering whatever I had to answer. And it was phenomenal. It was the greatest like BS show ever. I wish I could record it, and I should have recorded it and like have it stored somewhere, because I had no idea what to tell them, and somehow I was able to answer every single one of their questions, which is pretty impressive, because they were like, okay. So was I nervous? I was more nervous talking to the clients than talking to the judge. Let's see. Oh, Mad Typer. Plot twist. He also twerks. By the way, I don't know if you know this joke. So this is hilarious. Somebody recently was in a Zoom hearing, and the judge says something, and then they say the lawyer's name again, like, Madam, I think it was a female. Madam, were you listening? Ms. So-and-so. And she goes, no, I'm sorry. I was twerking. On Zoom. She says that on Zoom. I'm sorry, Your Honor. I was twerking. And everybody just kind of freezes like, what are you talking about? Like, her camera was turned on. Obviously, she wasn't doing anything crazy. Apparently, and this came to light after the Zoom hearing, her children, as a joke, decided to tell their mommy that twerking means tweeting while working. So while the lady was, doing the Zoom hearing, she was distracted by tweets. She was tweeting on her phone, and she told the judge that she was twerking. So she apologizes for missing whatever bit of information the judge was asking. That made me laugh so hard. I can't imagine having to tell the judge that I've been twerking, and realizing, oh, don't get me started on that CNN guy. That is atrocious. I mean, talk about lack of professionalism. So that was hilarious. That was hilarious. I wish I was at a fly in that Zoom meeting. That would have been awesome. When you are a lawyer, then you divorce a lawyer, then you become a divorce lawyer, then die and don't become a divorce lawyer, but the other lawyer becomes a divorce lawyer. Exactly, line crewmate. Have I ever had to deal with prosecutorial misconduct? Yes. It's very rare, and I think I handled it pretty professionally. That was old news. I'd rather not talk about it though. It's quite personal. Let's see. Do you limit yourself just DUIs? No. We do all criminal defense and personal injury now, Michael Hill. Pretty much all court is done via Zoom, Stone Glasgow. Only some of it is in person. I mean, if it's a hearing, we usually go in person. Not sometimes. I shouldn't say usually. Sometimes, but the majority is via Zoom. Absolutely via Zoom. The most common personal injury: car accidents, slip and falls being number 2, work injuries, which are work comp, which is not really PI work, personal injury work, I would say is a close third. How big is my practice? We have 4 lawyers, but one doesn't work as a lawyer. She's our case manager. And then I have 2 paralegals. I have 3 of counsel. I have a YouTube manager. I have 2 SEO managers. And I have a website manager and a few others. 12. We have 12 people in total. Zoom juries over Zoom. Kentucky has not been doing those yet. Some states have. Colorado, I know, has. Stone Glasgow, they're doing Zoom trials, like bench trials with a judge in Texas. I know that. Becoming a CPA would help you if you want to decide law school, Jake. I have no idea. I think those two are one is numbers, the other is everything but numbers. Can body cam be thrown out if it's been tampered with, Ryan? Sure. I think May Airy Jones has needs to lay off the booze, ladies and gents. In America, do law firms do work experience for high school students? Sorry, my brain is already getting tired. Do law firms do work experience for high school students? I don't think so. I mean, there's a program that allows high school students to do there's a program, I can't remember what it is off the top of my head, where it does allow them to earn some experience, but you have to qualify and be top tier student in your class, I believe. It's not my mock trial. There's something else. Well, that's cool. That's cool, Matthew. What's my favorite YouTube lawyer channel? Mine, of course. I don't really watch lawyers on YouTube, to be honest. If I watch YouTube for leisure and sometimes educational purposes, but I usually watch chess channels. I'm like the biggest chess nerd you will ever meet. Even though I'm not that good, I'm only at my peak rating on chess.com, I was 1550 maybe tops. I don't like Legal Eagle. He's too, I don't know. He's not my type. Ben Feingold, I don't like him so much anymore. He's the one that got me introduced into chess, James. But now I watch Chess Bra. Amon Hambleton and Eric Hansen are my two no homo loves right now when it comes to chess. Z Snively, it's two. I don't remember what my I have both Lee Chess and chess.com, but the truth hurts. All right, Ben. I mean James. Okay. I don't want to talk about chess on my legal channel. Let's. I think this has digressed into off the beaten path. Again, I'm more than happy to like create either a Twitch channel or maybe like a place where we're gonna be chitter chattering about all this stuff. But I don't feel that this is the right platform again because I like to keep it exclusively legal stuff, at least for now. Mad Typer, if you're above 1500, you're very likely to beat me as well. So I'm not saying I'm the best in the world. Trust me, I'm not Magnus Carlsen. But let's end it right here. And I appreciate everyone for coming again. It's good to be back. I'm very happy to. I'm very happy to be back. I'm very happy to be streaming again, and I thank you guys for joining. I mean, I'm so happy about this turnout. At our peak, we had like 210 people, and I did not expect it to be this good. I thought we might, but I have a lot more subscribers now, so I guess that is probably one of the reasons why we're able to get so many in here. So again, thank you for joining. Thank you for coming. We will be doing another stream exactly a week from today. Saturday, Halloween, Saturday, October 31st, 6:30 p.m. Oh, look at that. 164 people watching with 164 likes. Isn't that nice? Don't forget to like this video, comment below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you like this content, I'm going to be here every week, all winter long, hopefully. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell so that you get notified whenever yeah, Z Snively, I'm going to dress as a lawyer for Halloween on Halloween. So you have that to look forward to. So thank you so much again for coming. I hope you enjoyed. We've been doing a lot of Q&A, so I'm happy that there were so many questions being asked. It's been a while. I'm glad to be back. And we did touch upon our topic, not as much as maybe we could have, but I think we covered enough. I think we covered a sufficient ground. So peace out, everybody. You all be safe, love one another, and don't get into trouble. But if you do, call the DUI guy. Okay? All right, guys. We'll see you all later next week. Bye-bye.